Welcome back to the Untouchaballs podcast. Caden and Evan here, bringing you our weekly pick'em episode. Evan, how we doing today?
Doing great, kid. Doing great. Yourself?
Also doing not too bad. It's Thanksgiving week, so that's always good. We got a lot of big games to talk about with it being Thanksgiving week. First off, though, we'll recap last week. We're in college football. Evan went 4-4 with his best bet of BYU minus 2.5 against Cincinnati hitting. I went 4-5 with Jacksonville State blowing that game against FIU and not coming and covering that 1.5. Then in the NFL, tough week for both me and Dwyer here, where we both go 3-4. We go 3-4-1 on our main picks. I end up going 4-4-1 in total, with Jacksonville covering that minus 2.5 against the Cardinals for my best bet. Dwyer loses his best bet, so ends up going 3-5-1 in his NFL bets, bringing our season totals now to in college. Evan is 57, 58-4 with his best bets sitting at 4-2. I'm at 62, 58-4 with my best bet sitting at 3-3. And then in the NFL, Evan is 46, 50-1 with his best bet sitting at 3-3. And I am also 46, 50-1 with my best bet sitting at 3-3. Then,
not bad. Could be worse. Could be worse.
Could be worse. We're still trying to climb in NFL. We're still sitting below that 50% there.
Yeah.
Hoping we can make it up in these last couple of weeks. And this is, though, Dwyer, this is the last week of the regular season for college football, week 14. We're here. Teams are going to be clinching their ticket in conference championship games, becoming bowl eligible, or just finishing their season.
Yeah. On to next year, huh? On to spring ball.
Exactly. We got all sorts of stuff to talk about there. So first off, in college, we got the one lone game that it will be happening on Thanksgiving. And that is the Navy Midshipmen. They'll be on the road against the Memphis Tigers, where Memphis is a 5.5-point favorite. Also, Dwyer, Navy still looking for a spot in that American Conference Championship. Memphis is out with the 2 losses. It's going to come down to a mixture of Navy, North Texas, and Tulane. So Navy has a 5.5-point dog, needs to win to keep their season alive to go into that American Conference Championship.
Okay, you kind of just gave my explanation right there. I'm going to be picking Navy here. I mean, last week, big win over South Florida. Like you said, they have something to play for, which Memphis does not. And I think that's a big motivator, big factor in the games. You know what I mean? When you don't have anything to play for, you have stuff to play for, but it's a whole nother level when you're on Navy side. I don't think it's a bad football team. I think they are in a great football. You know, we saw what happened against Notre Dame. They lost by like 39. I also think Notre Dame's one of the top teams in the country, which is a different story. But Navy being dogs in this game, I love it. I'd run my money line, really.
Yeah, I'm taking Navy plus 5.5 here as well. I mean, while this Memphis offense is definitely more explosive, I mean, really any offense is going to be more explosive than the triple option, but this Memphis offense can put up a lot of points on you. But so can that USF team, which Navy was able to go in and beat just a couple weeks ago. Now you're coming in Memphis, Navy, with their season on the line here. Memphis, they had a good year, blew their shot at the conference, blew their shot at the playoff. So now they're just playing this week, and then they'll be in a bowl game come December. So, yeah, I think Navy, with everything on the line this week, for your chance to even be a playoff team possibly with this Navy team, they're going to, I think, be going balls to the wall here. Blake Horvath is going to try to do what he can best at that quarterback position to put up points. And, yeah, I'm with you. I think Navy comes in, covers that 5.5 on the road. Also on this Friday, because this is big rivalry week here, week 14, a lot of big rivalries. We got Georgia, who will be going against Georgia Tech at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, where Georgia is a 14-point favorite in this rivalry matchup.
Caden, I'm keeping it simple for this game. I'm going with Georgia, man. Georgia Tech gives up a lot of points, man. A lot of points. Is bad. They just lost against Pitt last week with 42 points. They gave up 34 to Boston College, 48 to North Carolina. Like they're just giving up points all over the place. And unfortunately, these teams aren't the Bulldogs, and the Bulldogs are rolling, man. They just had a huge win last week. You know, just stomping everybody. I think 14. It's a big spread, but I feel like in college this is a very easily obtainable spread, especially when you're at home.
It's definitely an obtainable spread for the Bulldogs. It's just, I don't know, in these big rivalry matchups like Georgia Tech, I mean, you look at this game last year, Georgia ends up going and wins the SEC, makes a good little playoff run. And Georgia Tech, I mean, Haynes King had some good games last year, but this Georgia Tech team wasn't anything crazy. This game went to 8 overtimes last year. Carson Beck, yeah, it was still Carson Beck at the time, had to come in, make a nice little comeback to send it even there. And then they were going back and forth, went 8 OTs with Georgia finally winning there off the 2-point conversions. That I just think 14, 2 tutties here, too big, especially in a rivalry matchup like this. I know Georgia Tech's season is now dead after that loss to Pitt last week. Big loss on both of us there, though. We thought Georgia Tech at home, too, was going to come in, clinch their spot in the ACC championship game. If that had happened, I do expect that the spread would have been closer to around a 9, 10-point spread. But with Georgia Tech's season dead, all they got to play for now is this rivalry game here. And I think they can come in, keep it close enough, and cover that 14. And then kicking off our Friday night slate, we got the Texas A&M Aggies. They'll be on the road going against the Texas Longhorns, where the Aggies are a 2.5-point favorite.
Caden, this is going to be my lock of the week here. I am rolling with the Aggies in this one. I'm keeping it simple, too, with this one, man. They're the number 3 team in the country. I get it's rivalry week, but, you also at the same time, you just got to look at what these teams are. Texas has been bad all year. I know they beat a 2-9 Arkansas team. Whoopie-doo. They look good against them. Now they're playing a number 3 team in the country. The Aggies have just been absolutely rolling. This is just way too close of a line. I get that they're on the road and it's a rivalry game, but, man, sometimes the teams are just but it doesn't matter, and I think this is one of those games, so I'm taking the Aggies all day in this one. They're just offense, I just don't trust Texas' offense. Sorry, Arch. You're a bust.
Yeah, I mean, this rivalry was renewed last year when Texas was back in the SEC, and Texas was able to go into College Station and win that game last year. And I think we're going to see the same kind of thing as last year, where the road team comes in and wins this matchup because, like you said, Dora, this Aggies team is just better than this Longhorns team. Marcel Reed's a better quarterback than Arch Manning, and maybe this Texas defense will be able to slow down that A&M offense some, but I don't think it's going to be enough, especially, like you said, there's a lot of uncertainty with this Texas offense. Arch, yeah, he looked great last week. Threw for 4 tutties, ran one in and caught one. Hell of a game for Arch. But also, that's against Arkansas, who is not good, has not won a conference game this season. Texas A&M is undefeated, and yeah, they've had the easiest possible SEC schedule until this game. I still think they are a very good football team, and I do think they can come in here on Friday night, come in to Austin and take the victory, cover that 2.5. And then to finish off our Friday night slate, we got a big one in the Big 12, as the Arizona Wildcats are going to be going on the road against the Arizona State Sun Devils, where the Wildcats are a 1.5-point favorite.
Arizona's at home, correct?
Arizona State is at home.
Arizona State?
Yep.
And they're the dogs?
1.5-point dog.
I'm going to ride with Arizona State in this one, man. I feel like in this situation, I like close spread, at home, rivalry game. Give me the home team here, Arizona State.
Yeah. I'm going to be taking Arizona State here too, but more because they still got stuff to play for while this Arizona team does it. The Wildcats, they've made their bowl game. There's really not much you can do. Arizona State is still alive for the conference championship game here in the Big 12. They need some stuff to happen, but this is what they need. The Sun Devils can make the conference title game. They need to beat Arizona, and BYU has to lose to UCF here in that matchup. And in doing so, Arizona State would overtake them and then become one of the representatives there for the Big 12. So they still have that right. And I know you're without your starting quarterback, Sam Levitt, but the backup looked good against CU last week, and he already has experience from before Sam Levitt was running that shift. I do think he's going to be comfortable enough in this big time moment on Friday night under the lights to come in, win that game at home, cover that plus 1.5. Now, moving into our Saturday slate for college, we got the big game here to kick it off, as Ohio State will be on the road against the Michigan Wolverines, where Ohio State is a 10-point favorite.
It's kind of the same thing with the Arizona or the Texas A&M game here, Caden. I just think that Ohio State's just a whole other beast compared to Michigan. I get it's the big house. It's a tough place to go play on the road, but I mean this Arizona State, Ohio State team is just on another level, man. Number 1 team in the country for a reason. They just don't lose, and they don't lose. They don't even have that many close games this year, really. So I'm riding Ohio State in this one.
Yeah, I mean Ohio State's awesome. That defense is the best in the country. They are so good. it's just, I mean, last year they were like 15 and I think had a half-point favorites. You go in and lose that game, obviously, on the field goal. You got the big fights and everything going on after that game. Really electric stuff, but you also have, over this past handful of years, you've been very, very struggling against when you play Michigan. In this big game, you do not win these with Ryan Day as your coach over these last handful of years. John Harbaugh has your number. And while, yeah, Ohio State is the best team in the country. And Michigan, I don't really think Bryce Hunter was that good. This team's just not great, but they weren't great either. They won that game. Well, I do think Ohio State wins this game. I think 10's too much for this matchup, and Michigan will come in, cover that 10 at home. Now we got a big one in the ACC as the Miami Hurricanes are going on the road against the Pitt Panthers, who are still, the Pitt is still alive for the ACC Conference Championship game, where Miami is a 7-point favorite. Both teams still fighting for their playoff lives, Dwyer.
This is a very tough one here, Caden. I feel like with Miami and Pitt, it's tough because we saw Pitt last week against Georgia Tech. Was it Georgia Tech? Yes.
Yep.
Right? They won 42-28, I believe.
Yep.
Put up big number against them. But I don't think Georgia Tech's as good of a team. We saw what Pitt did against Notre Dame, and I get they were on the road, and I get different situation, okay? But this Miami team obviously has already played Notre Dame this year and beat them. And granted, it was week 1. They're on that level. They're really on that level. And they got smoked when they – and who am I saying?
Pitt?
Pitt, yeah. Pitt got smoked at Notre Dame. 7 points. It's just – I feel like the bettor's money you're going to be going towards. Like they want you to take that Pitt spread here, but I'm just going to take it easy. I think Carson Beck gets the job done here and give me Miami all the way.
Yeah, they want you to take Pitt for sure, I think, because, I mean, there's 3 6-1 teams in the ACC when it comes to conference play. It's UVA, it's Pitt, and it's SMU. So one of those 3 teams will get knocked out and not be able to make it to that conference championship game, get knocked out of the playoffs as well. Then you have Miami. They have already 2 losses here in conference. They cannot make the conference championship game, I don't believe. And then but they are still fighting for their playoff lives. As of right now, they are the number 12 team in the country as of tonight's updated college football playoff ranking. So as of right now, if they were not the ACC championship, they would be out of the playoff in return for the group of 5 winner. So they need a big win this weekend. They need it to be resounding so they can move up a couple spots, make it, even though they're not playing in that ACC championship game, that they could still find their way, make it into the playoffs as that 10 seed. Maybe, actually, yeah, it'll probably be the 10 seed because that ACC champion will probably go in and fill that 11 spot. So Miami's going to need a dominant performance here against Pittsburgh, and I think that's what's going to happen here. I mean, I know Pitt, like you said, Dwyer, they can put up points. They put up 42 last week, but that Georgia Tech defense is awful. Miami does have a much better defense than Georgia Tech, and I think Beck and company are going to be able to put up some points, cover that 7 on the road. Next game we got, Dwyer. We're going back to CUSA. 3rd week in a row. Also, we're talking about one certain team, as the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers are going to be on the road going against the Jacksonville State Gamecocks, where Western Kentucky is a 2.5-point favorite. And then looking at the Conference USA standings, it is Jacksonville State, Kennesaw State, and Western Kentucky all sitting at 6-1 in this conference right now. So if one of these teams lose, or whoever loses this game, most likely than not, will be out of this Conference USA championship game.
Yeah, so huge game right here, right? I mean, it's kind of playoff game for both teams pretty much here. I get that Western Kentucky is a favorite, but I'm just going to be taking the home team in this one, man. And it's just, you're at home. It's a close spread, obviously. I trust the team at home more than I do on the road. Give me this Jacksonville State team.
Yeah, I mean, last year they played each other last week of the season and then again in that Conference USA championship. And you saw very tight games both times there. This year, obviously, have not played each other yet. Jacksonville State, bad loss against FIU last week. So they could have clinched their spot in the Conference championship last week, but they did bad loss there. So I think they're going to come in hungry at home here. They're not going to want to lose out on a spot to go to that Conference championship game, especially at home in front of their fans. Cam Cook, who's having an incredible season for them. I think he's going to have another great game for this team. Doak Walker finalist. Kind of tear up this Western Kentucky defense. They're going to come in, cover that 2.5 at home, and win this game as well. Now, a big matchup here in the SEC as the Vanderbilt Commodores who are going to be going on the road, still fighting for their playoff lives. They'll be going on the road against the Tennessee Volunteers, where Tennessee is the 3-point favorite.
Yeah, Caden. This Tennessee team, man, they've just been rolling. They really have. I mean, they took care of Florida easy last week. I get Florida's not a great team, but we saw them. They beat Oklahoma earlier in the year. They've just been winning, and I like them at home again. I mean, this Vanderbilt team is good. It's a nice team here. Obviously, still fighting for playoff spots, like you said. But Tennessee, man, I feel like they're going to put the knife and the dagger here for on the Vanderbilt's playoff chances.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's at home. It should be, a big day for this Tennessee Volunteers crowd and everything. Up there in Knoxville, it's just, this Vandy team, they still got a lot to play for. Your interstate rival down there in Tennessee. I think Vandy, Diego Pavia and company, they're going to go in trying to put up a lot of points. Because kind of like that Miami team, they need a very resounding victory and probably some losses there too, to be able to make it to this playoff this season. So they need a big win here on the road against this Tennessee team. And I think Pavia is going to be able to sling for a couple 3+ tutties here in this game, put up that offense. It's going to be interesting to see if Joey Aguilar and that Tennessee offense can keep up with it. I'm not sure if they can. So give me Vandy +3 in that one. Next, a big matchup here in the Sun Belt, as James Madison already has their side of the conference locked up. We got a big one here for the Western Division in the Sun Belt, as Troy will be going on the road against Southern Miss, where Southern Miss is a 7-point favorite. Both teams at 5-2 in the conference. The winner will be moving on to that conference championship game against James Madison.
Yeah, Caden, I'm going to be taking Troy here. Like you said, I know it's the 7-point dogs. I know they're on the road here, but I feel like it's going to be a close one. Like, both teams are playing for something, so it's a far spread for when both teams are that. There's something on the line for both teams, so I'm going to be taking Troy.
Yeah, 100% there's something on the line for both teams, and I'm with you on Troy, but a little different reason, as I just don't have a lot of confidence in this Golden Eagles team, the Southern Miss team, over the last couple of weeks. I've watched them in their Sun Belt play, and they lost a bad game a couple weeks ago. They just haven't looked good to end the season, where if they just played good football these last couple weeks, they could have already most likely clinched their spot here in that conference championship game, but that just hasn't happened. Troy's been right there with them. I know they've had some interesting games as well as of late, but I do think 7's just going to be a little too much in this matchup, so Troy's going to come in and cover that on the road. And then our last college game here before we do go over our locks is the Iron Bowl. It's going to be played out on Saturday night this year, as the Alabama Crimson Tide are going to be going on the road against the Auburn Tigers, where Alabama is the 6-point favorite.
Caden, this is almost going to be my lock too, but again, as the Iron Bowls kind of scared me a little bit off of it.
Yep.
But I'm going to go Alabama here. I know they had that loss a couple weeks ago against Oklahoma. Tough, but they bounced back this week. They're just a good football team. And as Auburn team, they 5-6 on the year, something like that. Yeah, they're just not a great team, and this is again a close line. I think the only reason it's close is because it is the Iron Bowl. Obviously, that's something. Yeah. It's such a big thing. Yeah, give me Bama here.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dwyer. I'm still kind of thinking, but no, this was almost my lock of the week as well. Bama -6. I mean, yes, it's the Iron Bowl. Yes, anything can happen, but Bama's the better football team. Jackson Arnold's not that good of a quarterback. Ty Simpson's one of these Heisman contenders. Alabama, one of the better teams here in the country. They're going on, looking ahead to to the playoffs and stuff. But even still, I do think they will come in, cover that 6 there on the road on Saturday. And Dwyer, before I do go into my best bet for college, just repeat what yours is real quick for the people for college.
Mine is
Texas A&M -2.5 at Texas on Friday night. Good job there, Dwyer.
You can't just do this to me. I'm already thinking my NFL picks. I wasn't.
You can't think of your lock.
Sorry, I'm looking at my NFL right now. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Aggies all the way, baby. Bet them all the way.
And then my lock of the week is going to be another Sun Belt match, a matchup between two teams fighting for bowl eligibility, 2 5-6 ball clubs. As I like App State -2.5 at home against the Arkansas State Red Wolves here. App State's, a really cool place to play here in the Sun Belt, with just a beautiful, beautiful campus and field up there. in, I believe, the Virginias. But even with App State, they've been playing tough games at home. Big good win over Marshall at home last week as well. And yeah, I know both teams are 5-6, looking to get to bowl eligibility. I just think in this game, you look at a close 2.5 point line. I like App State here at home. I think they can come in, cover that, win this game, become bowl eligible.
Like it.
Now, Dwyer, let's move on to our NFL slate where we're going to go over all Thanksgiving games, the Black Friday game, and then get to our Sunday slate. So then our morning game on Thanksgiving is the Green Bay Packers going on the road against the Detroit Lions, where the Lions are a 2.5 point favorite.
Packers and Lions, man. It's been an interesting season for both teams. Like, Packers have a good record, but just don't look great. Lions play good, but don't have a great record, you know? Interesting, very interesting. But with that said, I'm going to be taking the Lions here. I know they squeezed out a win last week. They didn't look great. Packers took care of a bad Vikings team. But I still don't trust this Packers offense right now. And I know the Lions offense didn't look great last week. Gibbs looked awesome, man. It was like all in the second half too. He had like 3 points fantasy wise going into the second half and just went off for like 50. He's just so, and the Packers, that's the thing. The Packers offense just does not have a player near that caliber. And I know Jacobs should be back, I think, but Wilson looked good in his place. But thing is, they just don't have any wide receivers, man. I think Kraft being out has really just killed this offensive threat, like in the passing game. So yeah, I just don't think this offense will be able to keep up with the Lions offense. So give me the Lions.
Yeah, I don't either, though. I'm with you on the Lions -2.5. This Packers team is just not great. Like, they can look good some weeks like they did last week against the Vikings. Nice, easy, simple victory for them. But, I mean, you go back a couple weeks, that weird loss to the Panthers, not being able to move the ball offensively. Like, they just have games where they're not moving the ball well. I mean, it will help that they're, in a dome here in Detroit. Don't got to worry about any weather. It's just, I think this Lions team just overall is a better team offensively. Defensively, I think they're pretty similar. So, giving the Lions here at home to cover that 2.5. Now, our afternoon game for Thanksgiving, we got the Kansas City Chiefs going on the road against the Dallas Cowboys, where the Chiefs are a 3.5 point favorite.
Chiefs, man, I just can't get a read on them at all. It's like they started really ascending. I know they won. It was a big win against the Colts last week. Kind of came back and kind of stole a win, really, honestly. Yep. That's how kind of like we've seen them do in plenty of years in the past. But this Cowboys offense, man, it hums. It puts up numbers, and I don't think this Chiefs offense I don't trust this Chiefs offense enough to be like super confident in this game. I'm going to be rolling Chiefs, but I'm weary on this one, kid. I really am. I can see the Cowboys like winning, Thanksgiving Cowboys, but like at the same time, kind of like we're saying with college, Chiefs have something to play for. They really can't lose. They like cannot afford another loss on this year, where the Cowboys season's pretty much dead already. But yeah, give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, the 3.5 is a little weird, with that hook. I'm going to be with you here, though, Dwyer, on the Chiefs. It's just, good comeback, good, fourth quarter and overtime for the Chiefs in that Colts game. Colts, bad offensive game. I mean, the Chiefs found a way to slow down Jonathan Taylor there, and it proved huge dividends for him. And, I mean, here, this Cowboys defense still is not good. I think Mahomes can have a good game through the air. And the Cowboys, it's going to be interesting because Pickens and CeeDee have both been looking really good as of late. Cowboys might be able to put up some points here in this one. It's just, I think the Chiefs are a better team. I know it is, Thanksgiving, that's the Cowboys' day and everything, but I do think the Chiefs will come in, cover that 3.5 on the road. And then for our nightcap on Thanksgiving, we got the return of Joe Burrow, as the Cincinnati Bengals are going to be going on the road against the Baltimore Ravens, where the Ravens are a 7-point favorite.
Caden, I was thinking about picking this as a lock. Close. Because Joe Burrow's back, man. Joe Burrow is going to be back, practice fully on Tuesday. It's not official he's back, but it's pretty sure he's back. Yeah. And, that's just going to help it out. Chase will be back next week. And, this offense is going to put it up. And really, this Ravens team did not look very good last week against the Jets. I know they ended up pulling away with it, but it was, I don't know. It wasn't very, very handled victory. if you want to say. But if this was in Cincinnati, I think I would take this as my lock. But I'm going to take the Bengals here, just winning on the road.
Winning?
Wait, taking
Covering the 7.
Covering this.
Yeah, I don't know if I go as far as winning, but I agree. I think they can come in, cover the 7. Getting Joe Burrow back's just such a huge boost for this offense. Yeah, I know this Bengals defense sucks, and the Ravens are going to be able to put up points, but Joe Burrow back just adds that much more explosiveness to the offense. You can be able to hit Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Chase Brown's been looking better over these last couple of weeks. You still got some tight ends and stuff. Yeah, the Bengals offense, I think, will be back to what people thought it could be or what we saw over the first couple of weeks. And they're going to be able to keep it close enough with the Ravens to come in and cover that 7 points. And now on Black Friday, we got the 8-3 Chicago Bears with a negative 3-point differential. They will be going on the road against the Philadelphia Eagles, where the Eagles are a 7-point favorite.
Okay, this might be like the worst 8-3 team we've ever seen, like ever. It doesn't make really much sense. I mean, like, they're winning
games. It reminds me of that Steelers 11-0 start from, 2021.
I mean, I really don't think the Bears. This past week, they kind of had a handle. Like, they pretty much had that game in check most of the game. They got a little close, but,
they not
really
cook a little bit.
Yes, it wasn't. They've just not had a very dominant win all year at all. This is a test. This is about as big as a test you can get of the year here, because you're going to be going into Philly. This is a Super Bowl contender right now. You're the Bears. You're in first place somehow. Detroit, the Packers are right on your tail. You're going to have to face Packers twice. You got Lions one more time. Those are going to be big matchups down the road. But there's a chance to prove yourself here against a very good team. But I'm going to be taking the Eagles. Go Birds.
Yeah, this is going to be the first one we differ on this week, Dwyer, because I'm actually on your Chicago Bears. Really, because, this Eagles team just has really disappointed me over these last handful of weeks, not looking like the team they can be. Last week you're up 21-0 against the Cowboys, and then you give up 24 unanswered points to lose that game 24-21. Just not things you should see out of one of the better teams, the defending Super Bowl champion, with that being in the Philadelphia Eagles. They just haven't looked like that team. Saquon has never really broken out this year. He hasn't looked like himself. Just this offense is not as good, and the defense I don't think is as good as it was last year either. That I think while this Bears team is not great by any means, they're just finding ways to win. I think they'll be able to keep it closer than this 7-point spread, because this Eagles team, they haven't been coming in and just dominating any of their victories. And the Bears, well, they haven't been great. I do think we can see Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, something like that, have a good game, come in, score a tutty or two, and keep it close.
I will say, you said Saquon has not had the year we expected. If there's a week to get it going against the Bears, because the Bears have the worst rushing defense in the league. So
that is very true.
Watch them eat.
Now, though, let's move on to our Sunday slate, as the Houston Texans are going to be on the road going against the Indianapolis Colts, where the Colts are a 4.5-point favorite.
I don't know if this wants to be my lock or not, man. I don't want to curse the Colts here, but I like the Colts in this one, Caden. I do. It was a tough loss to swallow last week against the Chiefs. They really just gave that game to them. It was very disappointing. That offense kind of just died in the second half. But as 4.5-point favorites, you're home this week, that's nice to be against this Texas team. It's a good defense, but your defense also looked pretty good against the Chiefs. They held them in check for most of that game, because that offense did lose in that game. But with that said, I think this Colts team is a good team still, a great team, a playoff contender. Give me the Colts.
This Colts team I do still think is good. But also, the Texans have been turning it up as of late. They do have, in my opinion, the best defense in football. We've really seen that over the last couple of weeks. You look at it on Thursday night just last week, and they completely shut down that Bills offense. Josh Allen got sacked, I think, 9 times in that game. So this Bills D has really been feasting. I think they're going to get to Indiana Jones, maybe force him to throw an interception or two. And they should be getting C.J. Stroud back this week, which I know he hasn't been great since that rookie year, but I still think it is an upgrade over Davis Mills, as long as he gets the ball out quick like Davis Mills has been doing, which has really been helping that offense just sustain some more drives to get the ball out quick, not be taking those big sacks, loss of yard plays. And with Stroud coming back and just this defense and the way the Colts have been looking over the last couple of weeks, I think the Texans are going to come in, cover that 4.5 on the road. Maybe even come in and get a little victory on it as well.
All right.
Next game we do got is the Buffalo Bills traveling on the road against the Pittsburgh Steelers, where the Bills are a 3.5-point favorite.
This Buffalo Bills team, man. I know we kind of talked about it last week, I believe. They're just not a great team.
No.
They've really let down Josh Allen, really, man. I mean, they just don't have anything outside of James Cook for him to throw to. It's proven. This defense is bad. And now you go into it. Wait, is it at the Bills or is it in Pittsburgh?
It is in Pittsburgh.
I kind of like Pittsburgh in this one, Caden. I really do. I like them as a home team here. I don't like both teams right now. Both teams just they're very similar, as in just meh. I really just think they're meh. I don't think they are. They're like first round makes, and then maybe they win a game in the playoffs and they get knocked out. If not, that's how I see both teams. But give me the home team here. I don't know if Rodgers is going to be back. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm with you. Both teams are not great by any means, and with this hook here at 3.5, I think it does become interesting because the Bills, like you said, there's no weapons for Josh Allen on this team besides James Cook, and that's a running back. He has no receivers. I mean, at the start of the season, the tight ends weren't looking bad, but I mean, Kincaid's hurt, and even still, he has been looking great. Your first-round pick from last year is now getting DMP coaches' decisions this season. So it's been weird for this Bills offense. I know Khalil Shakir had a good stat line last week against the Texans, but really most of that came in just one catch. That I don't really know how well this Bills team's going to be able to move the ball offensively. And with the Steelers, they're also not someone I love. But if you get Rodgers, and I think they can do enough. Also, the Bills, they are – I heard this the other day, Dwyer. This is something that should help us here with the Steelers. Against 12 or 13 personnel, the Bills are worse in the league at EPA per play. So, and the Steelers, they love to run 12, 13 personnel when you look at it where you got your Pat Freiermuth, Darnell Washington. They'll throw a third tight end in there sometimes as well. I do think the Steelers are going to find success here on offense. And, yeah, come in at home, cover that 3.5 here in the afternoon.
I like it.
Now, Dwyer, let's get on to our primetime games for the NFL to finish off this week. As our Sunday night game is going to be the Denver Broncos going on the road against the Washington Commanders, where the Broncos are a 6.5-point favorite. And Dwyer, it is still looking like Mariota.
I was about to literally
Yeah,
read it.
I
Me.
did.
You just knew me. This Broncos team's just been weird. How they play, they've just kind of rode their good defense, which has been working because they've been winning. They haven't been putting up a lot of big numbers. But with that said, man, this Commanders team is just lost. I know both teams come off a bye, right? Commanders didn't play last week. Yeah, both teams came off a bye.
Both teams come off a bye.
Yeah, I think maybe if anything, it just gave them another time to kind of refresh. I know that they lost J.K. Dobbins, but I like R.J. Harvey kind of filling into that role where I don't think they don't have. I mean, Commanders will have Marcus Mariota under center. You don't really have a running game right now. Your wide receivers are pretty old or beat up or both. And this defense is atrocious. They've just been giving up a ton of points. So give me 6.5. Give me the Broncos, man.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Broncos. Yeah, their defense has been why they've been winning all these games. And I think their defense has another good game Sunday night. But also, this Commanders defense isn't good. So I do think Bo Nix and company can have a good enough day offensively, put up some points. Come in, cover that 6.5 on the road, and just a good victory for them on Sunday Night Football. And then our final game, Dwyer, is the Monday night game as the New York Giants are going to be on the road against the New England Patriots, where the Patriots are a 7-point favorite.
On the dot, 7?
On the dot.
See, this team's frisky, man. When they got Jameis or Dart, they're a frisky team. They really are. And I know the Patriots have been playing closer games, like we've seen. I mean, yeah, they didn't look very great against that Bengals team that was pretty bad last week. And they played a really close game against Atlanta, too. But with that said, I'm taking the Patriots in this one, man. If they weren't home, I'd be more intrigued in the Giants, but give me the Patriots. a good football team.
Yeah, with it being at Gillette, it makes it easier to pick the Patriots for sure. And I'm going to be with you. The Giants, like you said, they are definitely a frisky team with either Jameis or Dart at quarterback. It definitely makes them better, especially than Russ there. I mean, Wandale Robinson, you saw just absolutely go berserk last week for this team against the Lions. But even still, coming in, I know New England's going to be without Will Campbell, without Jared Wilson for the next couple of weeks. And that's going to be interesting to see because this New York Giants team has some good edge rushers, Abdul Carter, Brian Burns. One of them is most likely going to have a pretty good game here. But I do think Drake May is going to be able to get the ball out quick enough, avoid some of that pressure you get. Good enough running attack out of Travion Henderson. Come in at home, cover that second, force a turnover at home or two. And then, yeah, Dwyer, let's get to our. You have not given your lock for NFL yet either, have you?
I have not.
Okay, so let's start with you.
So this week I'm going to be going the Rams over the Panthers at 10.5 here. This Rams team, man, no one thought in the beginning of the year. Where is it?
Yeah.
I believe it is in Carolina. Pretty sure it's in Carolina.
Okay. Well, yes, it's in Carolina.
Yes. With that said, though, man, this Rams team, I mean, they made Baker and they made that Bucs team. I know Baker got hurt, but, like, still, that's a good football team that they just took care of easily. And, like, it's funny because I was, like, just talking about that with a buddy not that long ago. Like, preseason, everyone was like, oh, stay away from this offense, like fantasy-wise and stuff like that. Just like, oh, we don't know if Stafford...
Little question marks, yeah, well, Stafford's back.
Like, stay away from Puka. We don't know. We stay away from Kyler and stay away from all these guys. Devontae. And they just all exploded. I mean, yeah, I think it's been an MVP. He's probably the MVP favorite right now.
He's the MVP. Yeah, he is, yes.
Yeah. Which is nuts. Matthew Stafford, MVP candidate, which, I don't know, it's just nuts. Which, if he wins an MVP, is that, like, lock him in for the Hall of Fame? Like, maybe, you know?
It might, yeah.
It really might. And, yeah, this Panthers team, I mean, you saw them Monday night. They looked off against the 49ers. And I think the Rams are a better team than the 49ers. So, give me the Rams, man. Easy lock.
I'm not against that. The one thing that does scare me is just how much better the Panthers are at home than they are on the road. Bryce Young's statistics are astronomically better when he gets to play at home in Carolina than on the road. It's going to be interesting to see 10.5's a lot of points. That's not something I'm betting anything on. I'm definitely staying away from that line, but Dwyer's lock of the week, Rams minus 10.5 at Carolina. My lock of the week is going to be from a different team in that division, Dwyer, as I think the Niners are going to come in, go on the road and against the Cleveland Browns and cover the 4.5. The Browns are not a good football team. Shador looked fine against the Raiders last week, but that's also the Raiders. They suck. Yeah. And Quinshon Judkins, who knows what his injury is going to be looking like this week. They might be relying on Dylan Sampson, who I still love. I love Dylan Sampson. If you check out our pre-draft thing, he was my number 5 running back in the draft. But this Niners team, we saw last night, even with Brock Purdy throwing 3 interceptions, they were still able to come in and cover that 7 points at home. And I think against this Browns team, yeah, it's a better defense than the Panthers. They still should be able to put up points with that mix of Kittle and McCaffrey. And then that defense, yeah, it's been injured, but this Browns offense is so bad that I don't think it will matter. And the Niners are going to come in and cover that 4.5 on the road. That's my lock of the week.
Yeah, I was literally looking at that one, Caden. I mean, like, yeah, I get, that defense is so good for Cleveland, but I would love to see what this offense is going to do against the Niners. I think it's just, yeah, good pick.
It's going to be interesting.
Have we shared a lock of the week yet? No?
We have not.
Interesting. Wow.
This is now the 7th week of us doing locks for the NFL and college, and none of them have been the same.
Wow, interesting.
Actually, that might not be true.
I did college one in there. You always pick off it would be an NFL one.
Yeah, it would. Oh yeah, we both had the Patriots against the Falcons.
And that didn't cover.
And that did not cover. It's the only lock we've had the same.
Dang it.
And they did not cover.
Oh well.
Hey, let's hope both our locks are right this week, Dwyer. Let's hope it is a great week of football for the viewing pleasure and for our pick pleasure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Anything else before we depart?
No, just Everybody have a good Thanksgiving. Eat good. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Happy Thanksgiving to all. And thank you guys all for watching today's episode of the Untouchaballs podcast. If you have not already, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. It is quick and easy and it is free. Hit that like button down below as well if you did enjoy the video. Comment down below. What are your guys' locks of the week for the college and NFL? Don't forget to turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload of the Untouchaballs podcast. And share this with your friends, family, strangers, neighbors, anything like that. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.